Okay, Cubs fam, here it is. The last Rex. We got lots of Relic 8s and lots of feelings in the community. Come step into my office. Let's see how we all are going to deal with 4 Relic 8 characters needed for Lord Vader. And what I'm actually maybe even more confused by, other than the Relic 8 characters, because I had a feeling they were probably going to require another one already. Don't love it, but I kind of did see that coming. I did not see coming that we were going to not have Rex anywhere in the requirements or Ahsoka anywhere in the requirements. And this subject's too big for just me. We're bringing Grid in. What's going on, Grid?
I'm depressed.
I am depressed.
I got the little alert, the Swigo little announcements thing that's like, hey, the last batch of requirements is here. And I was like, sweet, let's go check this out. We know that Relic 8 gas is going to be in there. Cool. What else do we got? And I was like,
Arc.
Oh.
Now, yeah. Yeah.
Just so sad.
No Relic 3. This is the only Galactic Legend that doesn't require any Relic 3 characters. And I actually have a graphic I'm going to show you guys. We're going to break down all of the Galactic Legends and what Relic levels have been required, how many of each for every Galactic Legend. So actually, when you look at it all on one spreadsheet, it's actually pretty interesting. There's a few things I didn't realize, just kind of taking it in stride. But first, let's unpack these Rex in front of us. Gridden. So the BTL Y-Wing, a lot of people are going to have that at 7 stars. Executor's not required. I think that's a very positive thing. I have no problem with that. Yeah. Did that surprise you? I thought it was going to be Anakin's ship.
Oh, yeah, the ETA. Yeah, that would have made more sense. I feel like the Y-Wing is one of their little gimmies because you have to get Wrecker. And Wrecker, you get the Y-Wing.
So if you don't have the Y-Wing already, you're farming the shards if you're farming Wrecker, right? Yep. So, that one I don't have a problem with. Lore-wise, it's kind of like, okay.
I'm super confused. Yeah, lore-wise.
But that's how we feel for a lot of this. But game-wise, not a big deal. Tarkin, Relic 7. Now, there is a little bit of an arc in Clone Wars where Anakin and Tarkin work together. It's a different version of Tarkin. It's not Grand Moff Tarkin. I think I'm going to call this a very weak link. This feels like they just don't see a lot of people with that. And Tarkin at Relic 7, I'm not going to call him a very useful character at Relic 7.
No. It's at least like, I guess comparatively speaking, within the requirements, I am happier to go for Tarkin to Relic 7 than, for example, Zam, because at least Tarkin has a ship. That I do sometimes use that with some leftover Empire for like GAC or something like that. So there is at least like a stretch, but at least a minimal use. You're at least like, okay, I can do something with this. Yeah. I don't like it. I'd prefer not to. I feel like Relic 5 or even Relic 3 would be safer, but I mean, there are worse ones on this list.
Tarkin has a great defensive ship for GAC. Great sneaker. Sneaky defensive ship, I think, if you've got a good Empire fleet. So that may be the silver lining there for that one. Arc Trooper, Relic 8. Now, of course, look, the 4th Relic 8 here, I have so many thoughts on that. I honestly just straight up hate that they did that. I don't feel like it was right. It really bothers me that they're requiring 4 Relic 8. But Arc Trooper is a pretty dang good character. And once you get there, even though, don't love the requirement and where the fence is, the gate is moving to, once you're there, Arc Trooper at Relic 8 is going to be pretty solid to have, I think.
Yeah. I'm a little confused at where we're at with Lord Vader. They were very specific that, like with JMK, this is episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Kenobi. Yeah. And the only place in this wherever that we see Lord Vader in the Star Wars universe is episode 3 as well. And so if we're pulling stuff primarily from episode 3, I'm like really confused at like, I mean, Grand Moff Tarkin wasn't, he's in the universe, but we didn't see him in episode 3. Arc Trooper at Relic 8, I'm like, okay.
Lore-wise, this last round of Rex makes very little sense. Gas makes sense. And Newt Gunray makes sense. Actually, Newt Gunray makes a ton of sense. because
Relic
Newt
7, I would
Gunray
argue.
gets absolutely just mollywopped by Lord
Just
Vader.
massacred. He just gets freaking demolished.
But other than that, like,
Yeah, I mean, going back to Arc specifically, as far as relics go, hey, shoot, to get a relic 8, I mean, that's going to help you with the cam mission. He himself is a pretty dang good tune at that point. Relic 8, he's probably going to be pushing 11,000 offense, depending on how you have him modded, which is awesome with his turret.
right.
And that'll help you a lot again with the cam mission. Gas is, as we know, his kit is being changed. My prediction is Gas is now going to be a much more formidable character on defense. And so if we're boosting up from Lord Vader, just assuming here, you're going for these requirements, you're going to have a Relic 8 Gas or Relic 8 General Skywalker, or sorry, Relic 8 Arc Trooper. That's going to be a formidable team on defense.
Yeah.
Lore wise, I'm confused, but
Well, I mean, if you zoom out and look at the whole group of Rex, lore-wise, we just have very little sensibility here.
There's a lot of
I'll show the other Rex on the screen right now. The Bad Batch lose connection. I think that's more of a their motive in putting the Bad Batch here is clearly because they're new characters, right?
Yep. New
Tusken
characters.
Raider. I actually like that nod to the lore. I appreciate it.
I'm okay with that.
Padme makes a ton of sense. Embo, I mean, extremely loose connection. The Echoes, I could go there. Count Dooku, I can go there. Zam, I could go there. So it's loose. I mean,
I hate that Zam's in there.
He chased her down, right? In episode 2?
Bruh, like she was in there for a 30-second car chase. And like he was just like, hey, so why did you try and kill Padme? And then Jango's like, yoink. Like, I mean, if anything, that should have been like Jango in there at Relic 7. But Zam, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. Count Dooku, I can get behind. Relic 8 annoys me a little bit, but like I feel like that was a very clear-cut moment in Anakin's turn to the dark side. It was one of the first times that he was listening to Darth Sidious / Emperor Palpatine / Count, but anyways, listening to him and just being like, it's not the Jedi way. And he's like, yeah, but do it. And he's like, you make a good point. And then
it is a little surprising to not see Sidious in here as well. I think
Sidious is a surprise.
He is required for other GLs. He's required for Sith Eternal, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But just that.
EP or Sidious.
Sidious is required for, isn't it Sith Eternal?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Darth Sidious. Yeah, there he is, Relic 7. And so maybe that's, but we've seen some of that carryover before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're getting to that point in the game where with some of these galactic legends, the crossover is going to happen no matter what.
Right.
And so I feel like a little bit of it is like they're dodging some of those more obvious crossovers and being like, well, we can't really make money off that because if you already went for C or SLK or whoever it is, then you already got these, a good chunk of these requirements. So we're not going to make that much money. And I don't know. I feel like, especially if you're already requiring Bad Batch, Tuskens, some bounty hunters, I feel like you're going to get your money's worth. And you could have given us the little olive branch of like, oh, you're going for Lord Vader. Here's Emperor Palpatine. Like, I feel like he should have been in there.
Maybe.
Ahsoka. Yeah. I can't believe there's no Ahsoka. There's no Rex.
That's
no
from
Kenobi.
A lore perspective. That's the part that really kind of trips me a bit. Is no Ahsoka and no Rex is very surprising to me. Very, very surprising. Very. Those are the two in my predictions video. Which, by the way, I got like nothing right. They just did whatever they wanted.
They
those are the two. I was like,
nope,
take these to the bank, and I still, if I were to re-predict it, I would. If they were to say, never mind, we're going to redo it, I would predict them again, even if I knew this was what it's going to be, because it should be that way. But anyway, let's look at these GLs here, and throughout history, everything that has been relic level wide. Did you like this?
I like this. This is really interesting to see it all together and put it into perspective of what we're looking at. I think it's really interesting.
I think it is too. So here we go. We're going to start with Relic 3s. There you go. Everybody required Relic 3 except for Lord Vader, and the most Relic 3s we had require were actually Sith Eternal. Relic 4s, Only Sith Eternal. For some reason, Sith Eternal is the only one that decided Relic 4 was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody has Relic 5s on the list. Interestingly enough, it's actually Rey who requires the most Relic 5s out of the entire bunch. Sith Eternal only had one, but that was because he had Relic 6 characters that kind of fit that bill along with Relic 7s. Obviously, we got Jedi Master Luke with 2 Relic 6 characters. And the Relic 7, we talked about this before, but before you guys watch this, I want you to predict in your heads right now. Don't skip ahead. Which character out of all of these 6 do you think requires the most Relic 7 characters? So pause the video, make your prediction. You might be surprised to find out it's actually Sith Eternal who required 5 Relic 7 characters. That I did not see that. Now I think it's because of this what characters were required. It maybe didn't seem as big of a deal. But pound for pound, he requires the most. And then of course, with the introduction of Relic 8, we went 2 straight to 4. And so you can kind of see that progression of, just slowly ditching those lower Relic levels, ramping up the higher Relic levels. And something else that I think is interesting when you compare these side by side, Rey and Kylo, very, very close on their recs. Only difference is Rey required 1 more Relic 5. Kylo required 1 more Relic 3. And then we've got Sith Eternal and Jedi Master Luke, who required, it was very different. And then JMK to Lord Vader, it's like they're in 2 different categories, almost, it feels like. So
Yeah.
what are some of your thoughts on this, Gridden?
I think it's interesting to see how like it's very clear that JMK and Lord Vader, even though they're still galactic legends,
Yeah.
are getting into a realm of their own.
Yeah.
And that's simply because there wasn't Relic 8 before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to address that in any way or if they're just going to say, yeah, they're going to be better galactic legends. Like we've seen that, JML can, kind of handle JMK in extremely weird, team compositions that some of these other galactic legends can handle the others. I'm scared for Lord Vader, honestly. I mean, not a single Relic 3, and they've been making this big push. You've seen it in the forums how they're saying like we want people we want there to be like a comparison of the investment that goes into the character and how good that character is. We want to make
Right.
that very apparent. And as to such a degree, we are going back literally years to touch up and rework and nerf some of these characters to better respect your investment into some of these characters. And if that's the indication that they're going, they've already said they're going to rework the Executor to make sure that that's more of a dominating ship. And they're making it very clear that's where they're headed. And so
Right.
if you're telling me they're this steep of requirements into Lord Vader, I'm I'm a little yeah. I I'm hoping JMK and Lord Vader can kind of go toe to toe, so I have some chance. But if Lord Vader is just dominates, I don't know, man. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I hope they respect the investment that you're making into the character. That's a lot of Relic 8s. That's a lot of Relic 7s. That's a lot of Relic 5. Those are steep requirements. He has to be good. But like in the same breath, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
No, no.
Oh no, what's gonna
You're like
happen?
what's his name on the bus? I'm in danger.
Yeah. I'm in danger. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
That is exactly what's happening right now. So,
We'll have to see how it
uh,
pans out. With all these things, I think it's easy to have a knee jerk emotional reaction for it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I really do not like that they're requiring 4 Relic 8s for Lord Vader. And it makes me nervous for what's coming next, especially.
mhm,
But hopefully, the biggest thing that I'm really hoping for is that pretty soon we end up seeing some kind of alleviation on the crunch with relics with
there
Relic
has to
9.
be.
Well, it feel like so yeah, so that would make me feel a lot better, but historically speaking, we don't really get that much. So
Yeah.
hopefully something comes. Maybe I'm probably being overly optimistic, but I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll have to see what they do.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what they
I'm
do.
wondering if I'm hoping, they talked about Relic 9 as more of a they specifically were mentioning how it can influence like defense and tank characters rather than offense characters. I'm wondering if Relic 9 is somehow going to be slightly different than other relics, and it might influence other stats, which
Hmm.
I think personally could be kind of interesting if they go and say, you know, relics 1 through 8 influence, you know, these, if they call it like primary mastery stats, maybe, which is like the mastery that we see now. And then relic 9 influences, let's say, just for example's sake, let's call it mastery 2. And mastery 2 is like defense, health, and, you know, whatever other shenanigans that, you know, different stats than the primary stats. I think that could be kind of interesting because then you'd be like, oh, well, I'm only going to take this person to relic 7, but then this person, I want to take them to relic 9 because at relic 9, they get like a bigger boost for health and defense. And then it makes it catch up with some of the people who are, you know, more offense oriented. I don't know, but I don't know what's going to happen with relic 9. Maybe relic 9 will balance out that like Ray and C or JML can keep up with Lord Vader and JMK, but JMK and Lord Vader at like relic 2 will dominate the other galactic legends. I don't know. All I know is I don't know what's about to happen with all these galactic legends. I'm over here just like so nervous about it, really.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger, dude. That is just the next like 3 months. I'm just gonna be like, I'm in danger the whole time. GAC, arena,
Oh,
the whole
man.
works.
Shout out to Mall Pills in the chat who had a pretty interesting breakdown here. He says if you multiply the number of characters at each level by the level to get total relics required for each GL, the breakdown is interesting. Ray total of 62, SLKR total of 60, JML total of 72, Sith Eternal total of 72. So those were equal. Ray and SLKR were pretty close. JML, Sith Eternal were equal. JMK 78, Lord Vader straight up to 90. Yeah, that's a big jump. It's a surprising jump. It's a surprising jump. I'm surprised by it, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna slow grind him either way. On my own personal roster, he's a character that I don't have, like, literally right now. I do not have a single character ready for Lord Vader right now, and I'm okay with that. I wailed on JMK. I wailed on the Executor, and I think my account could use a little bit of a whale rest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna slow grind these guys, but yeah, very interesting stuff. So, Grit, anything else you want to say about the relics and the requirements and everything?
One, like it's a lesser thing, but we just kind of touched on it. Lore wise, I'm really confused about some of this stuff. That's the only thing that
I think the only explanation is they're just not. They don't care about the lore with this anymore.
Yeah, this is going towards, which really kind of annoys me to a certain degree. Of it feels like they're going towards what's going to make some money. Which, hey, I respect it. It's a business. You got to make money. That's fine. But like at this point, I feel like, especially for these characters, because JMK, I mean, you look at JMK, that man is full of the memes. He's full of the memes. He's full of the lore. His entire event is all of the memes that we love about JMK, you know, with the hello there's and fighting Grievous and how he fought Anakin. And like, it's very, I feel like very lore specific. Him as like the actual character sometimes confuses me, like being an attacker, and some of his abilities kind of throw me off, but like, fine, you know, I can respect it. And some of his requirements, although steep, like some of them do make sense. And then Lord Vader like came out of nowhere, and like he's this fan, like everybody wanted a Galactic Legend version of Lord Vader. I would have thought that they would have gone to more lengths of making this character be basically like a fan service Galactic Legend almost. Like, not that it'd be easy, but like when they started with Tusken Raider, I was like, okay, like, yeah, you got Tuskens in there. That's great. And then they're like,
I didn't love it, but I
like,
kind of respect it, right?
Exactly. I can respect it because that was one of the first things that got him into like kind of tempted with the dark side, was just massacring all these Tuskens. And so I can respect that. Lore wise, that makes sense. And then you're like, here's Bad Batch. And you're like, what? And you're like, here's Embo. And you're like, no, please stop. Why are you doing this? Here's Zam.
We all knew that Bad Batch was going to be in there, though. Come on now.
Absolutely.
We all knew that. Like, before they released the
Yeah.
requirements, not a single person did not predict Bad Batch.
Oh, absolutely. No. And
The writing
I mean,
was in the stars, man.
Yeah. No, it was, I definitely knew it was going to happen, but like, there's just that part of me that's bummed that it did.
So there's
didn't.
two angles of this conversation. I think it's interesting. So we've got the lore consideration, we got the money consideration, right? And so
Mhm.
nobody should be surprised that when they're dropping, like if you've been playing this game for 6 years, obviously the money is a consideration for them, right?
Yeah.
If that bothers you, like why are you still here? Like this is the kind of game that we're playing here.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a balance there of
Yes.
allowing the lore to win out, right? And to find ways to make money within the lore. And when you just kind of abandon that entirely, it just feels like, all right, so we don't even care to make this sensible at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way
Like
it feels.
they dipped too much, in my personal opinion, towards
Yeah.
that side, which I didn't like. You know, if you look at Kenobi's requirements, I just got them pulled up here. Like 100% of them, actually, pretty much every single one of them makes sense. You go
Yeah.
through, you got obviously GK Negotiator, Mace, Ayla, and Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan was like the one where you're kind of like, you know, but they did work together quite a bit. Qui-Gon, his master, IG at 100, fought with him a lot. Clone sergeants, obviously fought with clones a ton. Watt, I didn't really like. But
Yeah,
you know,
Watt didn't make a
technically
ton of sense.
you know, they did fight one another a bit, but General Grievous made a lot of sense. Cad Bane, that makes sense. That was one of his biggest, you know, like thorns in his side constantly. Cody, yep. Django, yep. Shakti, you know, I can respect it. And then Grandmaster
Jedi.
Yoda. Yeah, Jedi. You know, you can get by it. And then I just find myself constantly with these Lord Vader ones. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just like, and it makes me so sad. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it kind of makes me want to go through all the wrecks. This could be a
Dude.
video on its own and grade
Yeah.
each wreck on a scale of 1 to 10 of how like sensible they are within the lore. And
Yeah,
I'll bet you
you
all
could-
of these GLs would be kind of like 80, 90%. And then Lord Vader would be like D.
Yeah, exactly. Like most of them you can at least get behind to some regards, and Lord
Yeah.
Vader's just like, so money.
Money.
Anyways, that's kind of where
Only
I'm at.
money.
I'm a little frustrated, but I don't know when I'm gonna get Lord
The
Vader,
community right now is like, the lore will do fine. And CG's like, no, it won't.
man. No.
All right, we'll get through it, guys. Let me know what you
Can
guys
we
think down in
make
the
that a
comments
meme?
below.
Somebody,
Yeah.
someone make that a meme. Take that, make it into a meme, please. That is beautiful. No, it won't.
So somebody can clip it. We're recording this live. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Go check out Gridden. If you guys didn't know already, Grid and I both invited to participate with CG on the Community versus Devs Speed GAC. This is coming up. Super excited to do that. I'm gonna be driving the account. Gridden's gonna be my advisor. I kind of just want him to just do it, and I'll just clap for him because he's a bigger brain than me. But I guess I'm gonna be the one in control there. So. I'm pretty
We're gonna have a good
nervous.
time. That's gonna be fun. We're just gonna I want to go into that and just have some fun, man. We'll try and kick some butt as we're going along. I'm sure we will, but no matter what, that's gonna be a fun time. That is a huge opportunity. I'm so grateful that you invited me, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much, and we're gonna have a fun time with it regardless, and kick some butt along the way for sure.
We'll see. Yeah, but we got a lot of stiff competition there, so that'll be fun. More details on that to come soon. So, all right, guys, like the video on your way out. Now, as always, my brothers, don't forget.